This episode of Behind the Line is brought to you by the mainstream media. The mainstream media, where you can go and get your daily fill of lies and propaganda. Please visit our most trusted allies at Deadspin, ESPN, USA Today, and Business Insider. I just want to start off by thanking the mainstream media. I really do appreciate your ignorance. Without the mainstream media, this channel would not exist because you provide me with so much content. I am able to do what I love for a living. I'm going to do my best to get 2 videos up today. Normally, we only do 1 video a day on the weekend, but I really want to get into the Lamar Jackson, Adam Schefter story. We will see what happens, but first, let's talk about Brittney Griner and how she is being victimized by the media. I think that's how you say her last name, Griner. I don't know. I have never heard of her before this weekend, which is par for the course in the WNBA. A bunch of nameless faces running up and down a basketball court being unentertaining. It was reported over the weekend that around a month ago, Brittney Griner was detained by Russian authorities at an airport. Her crime? She had a vape cartridge containing hash oil. Here in America, this would be a slap on the wrist. Hell, it's legal in most states, but over in Russia, it is grounds to detain Brittney Griner for a month. Now, I'm not here to speak on Brittney Griner. I don't know enough about her. That's not what this video is about. The purpose of this video is to show you how, once again, the mainstream media has chosen to completely victimize someone in the most fucked up of ways. Look, I think we can all feel a little bit of sympathy for Brittney Griner. Relations are extremely tense right now with Russia and the rest of the world, but especially with Russia and the Biden administration. I don't want to see any American detained on foreign soil in a country that's in the middle of a war. If the media had chosen that angle, I could sympathize a little bit with it, but no. They had to seize this opportunity to turn Brittney Griner into another propaganda piece to further their agenda. I do have to give them a little bit of credit. These shit fucks come up with the most creative ways to insert their twisted narrative into any situation. When us normal people heard about Brittney Griner, we thought, that's terrible. Hope she's okay. Hope she returns home soon, safely. But the media is not filled with normal people. It's filled with shit bums looking to victimize someone so they'll join their community circle jerk. Headline over at Business Insider: how low WNBA salaries led to an American basketball superstar's detainment in Russia. Have you ever seen so many lies in one headline? Let's start with American basketball superstar. Was LeBron James detained in Russia? How about Steph Curry? I'll even go as far as Zion Williamson, who is not an NBA superstar. In order to be a star in the NBA, you have to actually, play basketball. Zion's a great superstar in the medical community. He keeps plenty of surgeons employed with his constant injuries. But describing Brittney Griner as a superstar, that's not just a stretch. It is a reach. How many of you guys had heard of Brittney Griner before this weekend? My guess is 0. She is such a big star. She doesn't even have her own Wikipedia page. Now let's get to the premise of this garbage on Business Insider, which was written by Meredith Cash. As you guys know, most of the time when I source material from a social justice warrior, I like to see what they look like. Most of the time, they look like Mike Freeman, the Star Trek version from USA Today I showed you the other day. We'll get to him in just a second. I don't know what it is about social justice, but it's like it's a requirement. If you're going to be a social justice warrior, you have to be one hideous-looking motherfucker. To my surprise, Meredith Cash is actually a cute girl. Check her out. She looks more like the girl next door than a purveyor of propaganda and bullshit. Her parents must be so proud. They raise a cute little innocent girl who grows up to be a dumbass. According to Meredith Cash, Brittney Griner being detained in Russia is the fault of the WNBA. Huh. I'm sorry. I must be mistaken. Did WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert plant vape pens in Brittney Griner's luggage? Was all this an elaborate setup by the WNBA to garner sympathy and mainstream media attention? We already know this league does not know how to market their own product. Meredith Cash, you're giving the WNBA way too much credit here. You see, according to the woke who don't believe in personal responsibility, it is the WNBA's fault Brittney Griner was detained because they don't pay her enough money. This poor woman has to work a second job overseas during the off season just to make ends meet. Give me a fucking break. You know who's struggling right now? The single mother working 2 jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, riding around town, looking for the gas station with gas at $3.95 a gallon instead of $4 a gallon. Or the father working 60 hours a week at the plant, then cutting grass on the side so he can put his 2 kids through college. Also, they can spend 4 years being indoctrinated and graduating thinking their dad is an evil white supremacist. Those people are struggling. Brittney Griner is not struggling financially. She is scheduled to make nearly $230,000 in the WNBA this season. That puts her in the top 3% of income earners in America. If Brittney Griner can't survive on $230 grand a year, that's not a WNBA problem. That is a Brittney Griner problem. If the WNBA weren't being financially supported by the NBA, and Brittney Griner was working in the real world for a real company losing $10 million a year, you know how much she would be making? Nothing. She would be unemployed. Now let's get to Mike Freeman, the Star Trek nerd at USA Today. We talked about him earlier this week, but here's just a reminder. Look at this virgin, flashing the global sign of virginity, signaling to his fellow losers to join him in the nerdium where there's plenty of towels and hand lotion. I want you to think for a second. Just take a second to guess how Mike Freeman is spinning this Brittney Griner situation. If you guessed that he would spin this into a situation of race, you would be 100% right. And why should we be surprised? If Mike Freeman were into women, he would be married to Jemele Hill. Of course, he would be wearing the wedding dress and Jemele Hill would wear the strap-on. Mike Freeman, in his infinite wisdom, said, "You could forgive anyone who believes the arrest of Brittney Griner is a piece of targeted propaganda aimed at a particular group of people in the United States." Which group is he talking about? Black people. Yeah. That's it. I'm so glad you are this smart, Mike Freeman. That is exactly what happened. Vladimir Putin, 1 month prior to launching a war, decided to target a WNBA player to go after black people here in America. You know, because WNBA players are just so high profile. Mike Freeman then tries to prove his baseless point by saying Vladimir Putin has done this before. Which example does he reference? Russian collusion in the 2016 presidential election. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the far left push this bullshit for 3 years and then it turned out to be completely false? Mike Freeman then takes it a step further, and he actually said in this article that Russia is to blame for the racial division in America. Are you fucking kidding me? Russia is to blame for dividing America on race? Mike Freeman, you are part of the reason for that. You and your fellow fuckknuckles in the mainstream media. I don't remember Russia victimizing Black Lives Matter. That was the media. I don't remember Putin calling riots in the streets peaceful protest. That was the media. I don't remember Vladimir Putin pushing for sensitivity training and apologizing for white privilege. That was the media. Then you have Sheila Jackson Lee demanding the release of Brittney Griner. Vladimir Putin has no right to hold this woman. Actually, yes, he does. I know this concept is unfamiliar to social justice warriors, but it's called enforcing the law. When people break laws here in America, SJWs want them immediately released. No bail. You can shank someone in Seattle, be back on the streets in a couple of hours. But it doesn't work that way in Russia. Now, do I think it's ridiculous that Brittney Griner has been in prison for a month over a little bit of hash? Yeah, I do. I mean, it's a victimless crime. She's not hurting anyone by getting high on a little bit of weed. Do I think she deserves 10 years in a Russian prison? No. But does that mean she is a victim because of her race? No. She broke Russian law. By definition, that makes her a criminal, not a victim. Oh, and before I wrap this up, I couldn't cover a story like this without mentioning our friends at Deadspin. Deadspin, the favorite rag used by mechanics everywhere for washing oil off their hands. Deadspin claims that America has failed Brittney Griner. Yeah, it's our fault. It's our fault because she shouldn't be in Russia anyway. She should be compensated better by her evil home country. I don't remember Brittney Griner being forced to get a second job overseas during the off season. There are plenty of things she could do in America to make extra money if the $230,000 per year she's being overpaid by the WNBA is not sufficient. She could hold basketball camps for young players. She could be an Uber driver. KC, she can't drive for Uber. She's a superstar. She's famous. Oh, really? Really? She is so famous, it took a fucking month for this story to break. She's been in a Russian jail since February. No one noticed. I can understand being concerned with the well-being of Brittney Griner. I get it. I don't want to see any American jailed in a hostile country, especially over a little bit of grass, but don't come at me trying to turn this into something that it's not. This has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with some gender pay gap illusion in sports. There was an easy way to avoid this. Don't bring weed into Russia. Problem solved. Well, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Brittney Griner being detained for a month over weed is a bit excessive? Give me your thoughts on the mainstream media once again seizing the opportunity to promote their agenda. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.